Hey everyone, it's a wonderful hot day today here in our wonderful house, and I thought I would do a little video with some more training with Miss Lego here. Lego, say hi! While we're still working on getting everything together. Lego, come here! I thought it'd be nice to show a day in the life of Miss Lego. I have some lovely treats that she's already found, so today I'm going to kind of work on sit and maybe some down too. We'll see how that goes. So she already kind of has a nice little sit there. She likes to do her automatic sits already, which is basically anytime you have a treat, she automatically is going to sit down for it. But easiest way to do sit is to put the treat in front of her nose and pull it up and back above her head and into that sit. Good job, good job. She's a great practice puppy because she's not super overactive. She's a pretty lazy dog, especially when it's just me here. So then I want to lure her up to get up, and then we're going to bring her back in front of the TV here. Oh, Lord, yes. Alright, and lower her head back up and backwards. Sit. Alright, good job. Yes, good job. This is also good teaching her how to get treats gently. She already isn't really trying to gnaw my hands all that much, and even when it is, it's a very soft one. Yes, good job, good job. Now right now I'm mostly wanting to reward her with treat and give her a yes so she knows that that is right. Yes, good job, good job. Now the yes is important because it is a good marker word for when I later on get to where I'm not going to give her treats all the time and when I eventually phase out treats entirely. Yes. Oop, good job. Can't find the treat there. There we go. Once they get it to where you can say sit and they do so at least 4 out of 5 times, you can start taking away treats or start making it more difficult. Oh, Bun Bun, come on. Bun Bun is a fat cat who loves treats, so of course it's going to come get involved. Alright, so let's see if we can do it down. We're just gonna push it into her. I got it. Oh, there we go. Yes. Good job. Down's a little more complicated. Some puppies it does better. Basically what I'm going to do is push it into her and down. Let's try again. Most times I've done down using a sit, but this is me trying a new way of doing it without a sit first because I think it's important for them to learn that. Although we may have to. Alright, let's try a sit. Okay. And then we're going to go. There we go. Yes. Good job. Good job. I also draw out my S's accidentally because I'm working with my son. Okay, Bun Bun, come on. Up there. I'm working on with my son for him to start using his S's more, so I prolong my S's to get him to use them, so that's kind of a habit of mine. Yes, good job, good job. That was a beautiful down. So that's how it's supposed to work. You kind of put it into their face. Alright, stand up. You push it into them. Well, of course we're going to go sideways here a little bit this time. But push it in and down into their feet basically. And unless you have a difficult one like her. Oh, well, there we go. Into a sit a little bit further. Oh, nope, too far that time. Alright, how about a sit then? Good job, yes. Good job. Sometimes when they're having difficulty learning and you want it's good to go back to something that they already do. Oh, yes, look at that automatic sit. Yes, good job. So now she's learned that she can get a treat by sitting, so she does it automatically. So, We're going to push it into her and down. Down is super hard for some puppies. I've even had to do things where, let's try it like this. Alright. You put your leg out to where they can just barely go underneath and guide them to where, yes! Good job! Basically, it makes them have to sit down to get the treat, or lay down to get the treat. That was a very good job. You can do it under chairs and things like that too, depending on the puppy. Sometimes it's really hard. Basset hounds are very hard to teach down. I've done that before. Alright, let's do a stand. Good job. Good job, yes. Stand is a very good one to teach for when you need them to sit and to stand still. And you're basically just putting it in front of their nose. Yes. I'm just gonna mark her there a little bit. Put it in front of their nose while they're in a sit, and then just draw it. Alright, let's get her in a sit. Okay. And you just pull it slightly forward. Yes! Good job. You don't want to pull it too far to the point where they're actually going to move from the position they're in. You just simply want them to stand at where they're at now. Unless she's going to be a little complicated and then do a sit scoop. Good job, yes. Good job. And you can use any marker word you want. Yes is a very common one. Good job. Alright, awesome. You're the coolest. You know, whatever you want to use. You want to keep it simple, though, for them. Good girl. She's a very good girl here. Alright. Alright, well that was a good sit. Okay. Alright, let's try a few under the leg down again. So what I'm wanting to do with these downs is, is I want her to go flat on her front first. Yes, good job, good job. Because it is easier for them to lay down front first but back first, and when it, especially in cases like where it's an emergency, you immediately need them to stop where they're at. So if they're running and you're trying, yes, good girl, and you're trying to get them to immediately stay where they are, you can call their name and say down. And that way they go, and if they learn to sit first and then down, then they learn to lay down using their back legs. Their back legs first. So they have to take more time to stop to be able to lay down. Whereas, yes, good job. Laying down with their front paws first takes less time, so they're less likely to encounter the danger, like if they're about to run across the road or something. Good girl. So her sits are pretty awesome. She's doing pretty good with it, doing it down underneath my leg. I'm not really worried about teaching her the words just yet, and I'm probably not going to use down whenever I start teaching her the actual words, because down can be very confusing because a lot of people use it for all kinds of things, and I want her to know that whatever word I use is the word for get down on your belly, basically. Let go. Good girl. Let go. Let go. Good girl. She's she's one of the chillest puppies I've ever actually done any training with. Most of the time they're super hyperactive and crazy. So the basics that you really want to teach a puppy are going to be sit, down, stand, come, and you want them to learn their name. Loose leash walking is something that is beneficial, but it's really hard to do as far as puppy wise, because they have so much energy and such short attention spans. The other thing is that As a puppy, especially one like her, she's never really been on a leash, and she's so tiny that around here we usually just pick her up and carry her in places, especially because most of her time is spent laying on the couch napping with me. So when she needs to go potty, if I let her try and jump down and walk to the door first, she's gonna just stop and pee wherever she feels like. So we're trying to work on teaching her that she needs to go outside first, so I'll carry her to the door and then let her walk outside. And that's been going really well with her so far. And at night she's gotten to where she whines, and I'm starting to notice the different whines between I'm lonely and I want your attention to let me out of the crate and go pee. So we're working on signals and understanding what each other wants right now, and that's one of the most important parts of having a puppy, and you need to understand each other. There's a lot to going into a puppy. You've got to make sure that they have socialization. She has been getting a lot of socialization with the cat. Not quite like you're supposed to, as far as haven't tried to really separate them in any way, but Bun Bun has taken into being very curious about her. As you can see, he's just sitting there watching her, probably a little jealous about the fact that she just got a bunch of treats. And I have a few treats that I'll probably give him and my old lady who are passed out over there if she has the inclination to want some. But, so let's see. Most things that you want to teach your puppy at some point are the sit, down, stand is a really nice one to have. You want them to be socialized with as many things as possible and as many people. And socialization doesn't mean that they have to play with other dogs or be around something all the time. It's simply just helping them to recognize that what things are and that they're okay. So with the cats, of course, she's going to be around them every day, so it's very important that I make sure that she's socialized really well to them and knows that they are not chew toys and not food. And they are simply playmates if they feel like it, which Bun Bun has started playing with her a little bit, but probably the only one that ever will. So the rest of them, she needs to kind of learn that they need to just be left alone. And Kisa does really good. I like Kisa because she's really good at warning others to stay out of her space. So she gets some very good cues from Kisa and knows to back off from her. And not every dog loves other dogs. Puppies are really hard for some other dogs, especially the older ones, because they're so hyper energetic and bitey. So while you're working on all these other things, of course you do want to work on that bite control, bite inhibition. You want to make sure they know that you're not a chew toy. These are chew toys, and that biting does hurt. Dogs naturally play with or discover things through their mouth because they don't have hands like us. So they do a lot of biting and mouthing to try and figure things out. She's gotten much better already. When she first came home, she was constantly biting on us, and you could tell she still was trying to follow my hand and grab at it, and I'm working with my fiance to get him to stop letting her gnaw on him. Most of the time with her, it's just a simple redirection, works really well. So always keep a toy nearby to let her, to put in front of my hand or whatever she's trying to bite currently. She really likes the rope, and she has some balls downstairs too that we'll take and throw. Sometimes if she's a little too rambunctious, it's because she's getting overtired, so we'll at that point kind of most of the time I can get up and just kind of walk away, and eventually she'll stop following me and kind of lay down. Other times I'll kind of put her in her crate and let her just kind of rest. During that time I like to give her some wet food and a Kong, because that way it gives her some mental stimulation and some good redirection on some of that energy while she's also calming down, and eventually it tires her out and she lays down and takes another nap, because we are full of naps. Things I do not recommend are anything aversive, as far as spraying a dog with water, smacking them, hitting them on the nose, rubbing their nose in their pee or poop. Things like that are aversive, and they tend to not work very well. They can even make dogs aggressive. For example, my parents have a dog named Audrey, and she was mine at one point, but she had a lot of reactivity issues with children, which I did work on a lot. She loves older children, but she does not do well with my son right now because of him being small, and that with her resource guarding was just too much of an issue. But at one point she was punished whenever she would do things, so she would get smacks on the nose or something, and that actually started making her aversive to people's hands. So if people's hands came near her, she would start growling, or she would even snap at you. So I had to work that out of her by just simply mostly treats. She was very treat oriented, so it worked really well having people just from a distance toss treats to her for her to get to know people, which helped with her stranger sensitivities. And then as they got closer, teaching people how to approach an animal appropriately, which includes not going straight onto their heads, which a lot of puppies, especially in well-socialized dogs, will not really show much concern for that. But any dog that has any shyness or anything to them, you want to approach them if their owner says it's okay. You want to pet underneath their chin, because that does not, if someone came up to you and started trying to pat you on the head, you would probably feel a little off too. So that shows them that you're coming in peace in a way. And I'm kind of rambling. There's so much to do though with dogs and puppies, as far as teaching them and training them and all the new crazy things that they've never seen before. There's just so much of it, and even throughout their whole life, even a 10-year-old dog has a lot to learn, and you can always do. There's all kinds of training things that you can do, new things to teach. But yeah, the puppies you'll do the basics with. The biggest things that you want to focus on are the socialization, because it's very important that they be aware of their surroundings and know that when they're with you, they're safe, and letting them get used to places like vet offices. Even many of them have where you can make an appointment just for your dog or your puppy to go and get treats and say hi to everyone and just see what a vet office is. And some dogs, you may even have to go even slower, where you start with the car ride there and back, and maybe then get out of the car and get back in, and slowly, very slowly work your way in. Just kind of all depends on the dog, how much time everything will take. And some dogs just don't cope very well with things, and that's where you just kind of have to know their boundaries and make sure that you advocate for them, so that if a stranger approaches and they don't like strangers, you put yourself between them and the stranger. If there's not a way to get away without confrontation, basically, you want to put yourself between your dog and advocate for them. Let them know, my dog does not want to be touched, or dog does not want to be looked at, and whatever sets your dog off, you make sure that other people are aware. Well, as you can see, Lego's already tired out and ready for her nap, and I have some things to do. I may make another video today too, although I'm delaying posting these because I haven't actually set up my YouTube account yet, which I will be doing today. It's one of the things I will be doing. And so yeah, I may make some videos about the things that I'm about to do as far as getting my Lego shop up and running. But yeah, that's it for growing up with Lego today.